Greetings, Almeida fans.
Hey, folks.
Holy crap.
Okay, I have just one hyphenated word to say. Desperate hunching!
Desperate hunching.
Oh.
Okay, so, Kat looks like Pat Benatar tonight.
How do you like it?
Who knew her new haircut looks wicked cool. But yeah, okay, so we've just watched episode 20, season 7, 24.
Yeah.
And it really kind of seems like shit's hitting the fan. Like,
okay, can I just say right now, I had this suspicion for a long time. John. Okay, I know that John asked me, was it last week you asked me? Am I ready to just
accept that Tony is evil?
Just let him be bad?
Yeah, let him be bad. That's what he said, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to let Tony be bad? Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I think we're pretty resigned, but in the back of my head, I was like,
Kat was desperate hunching.
There's something, because it's too obvious. It's too obvious to just say, oh, he's bad. Oh, now we hate it. Oh, he's bad. Oh, that's a big twist, you know? Like,
okay.
So
Kat and I have a working theory about what could possibly be going on.
Yeah.
And so hear us out. And then we'll kind of explain how we, like, you know, how we think the pieces fit.
Yeah. Now, you probably are thinking along the same lines. I don't know if you are or not, but I feel like we're both in agreement right now that it's a strong possibility that this season was, and I use the term reverse engineered, how we feel like there's an endpoint that's really super, and they've figured it out backwards this season, which is kind of the opposite from how I think they did season 1. And they've admitted to that, right? It was like chunk by chunk, figuring out where you're gonna go and how you're gonna kill that audience at the end. Boom, you know. This one is the other way around.
Yeah, like I think maybe they started off with this idea of Jack versus Tony, right? And then they thought to themselves, okay, well, how are we gonna get there, but still allow both characters to remain true to the character? So this is the working theory that Kat and I have come up with.
Mm-hmm.
We think that basically everything that's happened so far in season 7 from the very beginning was orchestrated by Tony Almeida as like the huge mastermind of the season.
Okay, so there are a lot of... We'll keep explaining that, but there are so many little clues that support that theory right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about that after.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, we think that somehow in his dealings during the 3 years that he was off the grid, he came into contact with this woman, fake lawyer. I think her name is Cara Bowden, but I don't think her name has actually been mentioned in the dialogue yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that Tony discovered that, she worked for this cabal, including Jonas Hodges.
Yeah.
And set to it to use her and develop a relationship with her in order to get to this point where he could get close enough to them that he could expose their identities.
Yes.
Yes. So this is our working theory about what is going on and what could possibly be motivating Tony. And even though he's done a lot of really heinous shit in the last 2 hours, murdering Moss, blowing up the building, stealing Jack's meds.
I have so many thoughts in my head. I don't even know.
I know, it's like we're totally reeling right now, but like
well, and some of the reeling that's happening right now is for me, I'm kind of grasping how the writers and producers are exploring some pretty big themes that have been touched on and elaborated upon, but the full comment hasn't been made yet. And I feel like we're getting there now.
Well, if our theory is right, and Tony really is doing all of this with the intention of getting close enough to these people through fake lawyer to expose their identities, and, take them down for good, then it speaks to the overall kind of, like, thematic arc of does the end justify the means this season? And it would just be, like a huge extrapolation on any way that we've seen that theme addressed before up to this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And do Tony's ends justify his means? If this is how things are going right now, if this is the truth right now, is Tony's belief, Tony's belief in his mission would be so strong.
I think he would do absolutely whatever it takes.
Whatever
anything.
It takes. And I love how that is in direct reflection with Jack, you know, and how Jack's been backing down at the end, been rethinking, he's been moralizing a little bit more. I think mostly because of where he's at, broken down physically and mentally, and through the influence of his surroundings. Tony is outside of all of that. He is rogue. He recreated, he came to life with his own...
He can have his own agenda and follow, you know, whatever path he wants to. Like,
which is precisely what the enemies are doing, the enemies.
Yes. No rules, right? They answer to their own conscience, their own agenda.
Yeah.
Holy shit, like, I mean, if this pans out and our theory is right, and basically Tony has orchestrated everything, like Kat and I were saying that, you know, it could even be possible that, you know, while he's working for Emerson's crew, he somehow meets this woman, fake lawyer. And we don't know yet how they met, but, you know, what if he influenced her, you know, when he kind of sort of started to pick up clues about what she could be connected to. You know, what if he influenced her, you know, to start the ball rolling with, you know, getting Nichols involved and then getting Emerson's crew involved? Like, what if, it just sort of trickled down until, you know, he knew that he could position himself in right at the ground level and bring in the people he wanted in with him, like Bill and Chloe and Jack.
What if his death was partly his own doing?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Like, I think that if this is really what's happening, and, you know, his agenda right now is to expose fake lawyers' employers, then it probably didn't hatch until he met her.
Yeah.
You know? But nonetheless...
And when we were exploring that, just upstairs watching, you know, we were like, well, that makes sense, because he's known Hodge's name, he knew Seaton's name.
Well, he didn't know Seaton's name, but they exchanged a look.
And there were all those moments of recognition would make sense.
Where it's like Kat and I would look at each other and go, is that even significant?
Yeah.
Like, does that even matter? Just little moments. Like yeah, that one for sure. The fact that he knew Hodge's name. The fact that he and Seaton exchanged the look.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the cafe scene where he's having coffee. Jack calls him, come and meet me at the Port of Alexandria. This fucking weapon's happening. And Tony's like, wait, because he's like, oh, fuck, like, I already know this, and I need it to go down so that, you know, the machinations will go through, and, you know, he's trying to keep Jack away from it. And like, all that stuff in the last episode where, you know, Tony was being such an asshole and everything, but still, like, even at the end, you know, when he was standing over Jack and he was saying, I never wanted, like, I told you to stay away from this, I never wanted you to get hurt, and...
See, and there's so many things that I want to comment on that just kind of tweaked me funny. Like, you know, in the recap of the last season, you know, when it zeroes in on Buddy Boy Galvez, what's his name, saying you wanna blow up a whole building of FBI agents.
And then Tony responds, not yes, but you have a problem with that.
Yeah. So really, he keeps on putting it back on them. He keeps removing responsibility from himself. It keeps on speaking to the necessity of his actions, just having to go forward, and that he's not part of a whole big bad thing.
No, I mean, well, when he started talking to fake lawyer about, like, trying to convince her that they had to do the attack today, right? I was thinking, like, well... At first, it seems like, you know, you think, wow, like, Tony's really lost it. Like, you know, he wants to kill innocent people.
You could see
but then you realize, like,
it's
it's totally scripted, because you start to think, well, maybe he's pushing for this because he knows it's his only chance to get close to these people again.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and he's talking about how we won't have another chance like this. He's thinking maybe I won't have another chance
like this. And how he's managed to, like, if he's the mastermind of this whole thing, how he's managed to understand the psychology of his enemies, just like Hodges said, he understands the thought processes and the opportunities as they're going to happen. I just love how he said the words that the leader of this cabal said later.
Yeah.
And he thought that he had thought of that himself, but really that was Tony planting those seeds.
And, like, right now, I basically think Tony is just totally danger sledding the crap out of fake lawyer.
Okay, so let's talk about Reverse Nina.
Reverse Nina, yeah, he's totally reverse Nina-ing her. Like, as soon as she knocked on the hotel room door and he answered and she walked in and they had their little interaction and he's, caressing her face and this, I thought, like, even you said out loud, you're like, he's playing her. Mm-hmm. Like, you saw it right away. Mm-hmm. And so if we're wrong about this theory, we're gonna sound really stupid. But I just, like, if this is true, like, if they scripted everything that's happened so far in season 7 for basically to reveal at the very end that Tony Almeida is this huge mastermind and masterminded and played Jack, Chloe, Bill, the president, everybody like fucking pawns in order to expose this like massive, corporate Illuminati, as you called it.
Yeah.
It really could make season 7 like one of the best ever.
Totally. Well, do you know what? And it's not totally outside of Tony's character. What season was it? He gets shot in the neck, and then he gets up and he proves his fitness by and this scene sticks in my head all the time when I think about Tony. When he was asked to reiterate what was on the screen behind him. Do you remember that
Yes,
scene?
the scene with Chappelle, of course.
The scene with Chappelle. And he goes, boom, 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 boom. What do you think I'm, like, and he just undresses Chappelle at that moment, right? And he even kind of undresses Michelle, too, at the same time.
Well, he undressed her more than Chappelle.
Yeah, it was just like, bam. And his mental brilliantness, his
that acuity, yes.
Just that zing, that awareness. That is part of who he is.
And you felt that tonight in this episode, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I did feel it. We talk about Almeida as God, right? So if he
pulls this off in our theories, right, he truly is God. There is absolutely no question about it.
He's omnipotent. He's omniscient. He's even benevolent.
It's like all along we've been hearing about how season 7 is everybody's favorite and it's so brilliant and, the last few episodes are amazing and blah, blah, blah. Well, if this pans out, it's true.
Yeah.
And I don't see how they could come up with a plan that is more brilliant than this theory.
So I was like, if our theory is not true,
because it's like
that would be such a waste.
It would be a waste
because it's like, how could you not do something cool?
They set the whole thing up as Tony is the reason for the season. They're fucking bringing him back from the dead, for fuck's sake.
I know.
So what? They're gonna do that to turn around and utterly annihilate the character until all the fans who loved him hated him and Jack hates him too. Well, Jack hates him now, and I want to talk about. I want to get back to that in a bit,
yeah.
But anyway, so right now I'm thinking that like this could pan out to be real, and your desperate hunching could be real. Oh my god!
I'd just be so gratified, validated.
It would be,
and.
Because it would just be, like, so fucking perfectly executed. Like, even the episodes where Tony was absent, knowing, like, after the fact that he's off somewhere masterminding this whole fucking thing would just, like, totally negate the fact that he wasn't even in the episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god, you guys. Yeah. Holy crap. Like, could we be wrong? Like, could this really...
You know what? No. I don't feel like we're wrong. I feel like we're on the right track. I think there's some craziness. There's going to be a really intense, difficult ending because it has to pick up in 6 weeks again.
Well, yeah, and Jack obviously doesn't believe Tony right now, and I don't know if Jack in his current state of mind could even possibly listen to reason. Like,
Palmer.
Oh my god, that scene was so awesome.
Oh, like...
Yeah.
And, like, okay, so we have, like, shades of Nina. We have shades of Palmer. We've got Chloe back in action. We've got Jack completely losing it, and it was amazing. When he was screaming at Chloe. Or at
Janice. Yeah.
About Palmer. My heart
I know, but you know what? I bet a lot of fans were happy to see Janice get, you know, like just
like that, yeah.
totally like raged on by deranged Jack.
I loved it.
You know, I'm sure that was psychically satisfying for some viewers for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, then when he just started completely losing his shit and going like, President David Palmer ordered these servers recommissioned.
Yeah.
And then Chloe's like, oh crap, like he's fucking lost it.
Yeah.
Right?
And Chloe doesn't know about the whole thing, hey? She doesn't know about his infection or anything.
No, she doesn't.
No.
Like, but now she's picked up on the fact there's something really
Yeah.
wrong with him, so she's gonna figure it out right away. But I also found it interesting that, you know, like, Jack has absolutely no faith in Tony whatsoever. Like,
No.
any idea that, you know, Tony could be working for an agenda that is righteous is completely gone from Jack's mind. Like, Tony is dead to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because, like, given what we know and, you know, the possibilities out there that even though Tony's done really heinous things, and I'm not saying that at the end of the day, when all is said and done, if this is what his plan is and if it is successful, that it will justify killing Moss or killing those agents. Sorry, go.
I'm excited because when you were saying that it's really sad that Jack has lost faith. I'm seeing Jack infected with a virus. He's dying. He's losing faith. He's losing everything inside. He's crumbling. He's losing his understanding of the true mission of his own hunches.
His own instinct. Yeah,
His
he's
own
second-guessing
instinct.
himself
And now,
for sure.
And now,
yeah.
so this comment, you know, Jack is Jack. He can't die. He's 100% successful all the time. If Jack has to live because of how they've constructed this creation of 24, this is the closest thing to Jack's death
that maybe we'll ever see.
That we'll ever
Yeah.
see. And I think it's necessary because
He's totally lost himself, hasn't he?
they have to
Yeah.
kill Jack in a way. They have to find a way to make him not...
To make him
Superman.
fallible. Yeah, they have to find a way to make him fallible again. You're
Yeah.
right, totally. And this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it is. It's very, very depressing. Like, so heart-wrenching to see. Like,
It's good.
Like, it was amazing, like, when he was talking to Chloe, and, you know, Jack was telling Chloe that Tony was, you know, a terrorist, and Chloe just didn't believe it. She's just like, no, he must have a reason. Like, it's just not possible.
She still believes he has a reason.
Yeah, I think she does. I think that she told Jack she was with him because she wanted Jack to know that, you know, like, that he had her support.
Yep. But as soon as Tony gets through to Chloe, and he will somehow, Chloe will pick up on something Tony's doing, even if they don't have direct communication.
I think so. I think you're right.
She'll understand.
He's gonna figure it out. Like, they're gonna figure out a way.
And she's gonna be like that link, because the reason she's there right now in the FBI is because the FBI is blind, and she is the only one. She's the only connection that can make that link.
You're totally right.
Between the two of them,
for sure. And God, oh my God, like, this could end up being like the greatest revelation in the history of 24.
It's excited again.
Oh my God,
I'm excited.
And if this theory is wrong, oh my God, I will be pissed.
Well, let's not think about that.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this right now. I don't want to sabotage it with fear. What? Okay. Okay, so, all right, a theory, that's our
theory.
Yeah,
I also wanted to point out that when Jack told Chloe that Tony tried to kill him, Tony did not try to kill him.
There were a lot of things that were said that Jack said there that weren't accurate. There were... I can't remember. There were like 3 things that he said.
There were?
Yeah, because you said, every time he said something to her, you said, that's not true. That didn't happen. And then it ended with, and he tried to kill me. And then that was the one where you said, no, he didn't.
Well, I don't remember that, but I do remember saying that when he said to Chloe that Tony tried to kill him, I said to you, I was very incensed, and I was just like, no, that's absolutely untrue.
True, yeah.
You know, yes, he stole your medication, and yes, he helped Galvez escape the perimeter.
No, he took you out of play, Jack. He didn't try to kill you.
But that's exactly right. Like, he got some leverage over Jack, told him he wanted him to stay away, he allowed him to have a seizure, giving himself enough time to escape, and then basically got medical attention for Jack. You know, what's he gonna do? Just pop Jack in the head twice right there in front of everyone? Like, I don't think so.
If he were a mega bad guy, he would have, right?
So I think Jack's reality is swimming a little bit there. In what he remembers, like, with everything going on in his head and the fact that he was...
betrayal.
Yes.
It's taking his medication away and holding it and letting him suffer. That is a betrayal, and
Hugely,
that is like, he's thinking, you're killing me. That's what he's thinking.
You're right, totally. No, I mean, I can see where Jack thinks that, but that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
Obviously in his elevated state, he was in physical distress and everything else, but like, oh my god, this could be real, Kat.
I know.
It could be awesome.
So what's so
because we would still get a chance to explore like that dark Tony, that that ruthless Tony, that Tony who is just capable of anything now. Mm-hmm. But yet still with that
so principled.
Exactly. Yeah. Still having that moral drive to, expose bad people who want to hurt, innocent Americans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So and
I definitely thought, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but no. I just wanted to get it out. Like, I definitely thought that Tony took quite a lot of pleasure in killing Galvez. Like, even though Tony was the one who ordered him to blow up the building, he still, I think, kind of took pleasure in killing him, for that. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's still that mean streak, that darkness, that indulging in the bad things out of that place of anger.
Of anger and blackness.
And blackness that he's always had. Really, I've
always
seen
totally. You're totally right, Kat. That is so insightful. That's where he's finding the drive to do what he has to do to complete his objective, is draw from that well of like pain and anger and just rage and hatred.
Well, and weren't he and Nina an item?
Well, yeah, way the hell back in season 1.
But this is what I'm saying, is darkness attracts darkness, and if...
Yeah, because, Nina and Jack attracted each other, and that's darkness and darkness, and, there's definitely some darkness in Tony. I mean, I don't think it evolved fully until probably he went to prison and experienced some things that, he probably changed him, and I don't think that he came out of prison the same man he went in.
But his love always had tinges of darkness around the edges of it.
But it was his love for Michelle that saved him. Mm-hmm. From totally fully going down that road, like succumbing, right? Yeah. And then when he lost her permanently, forever and ever and ever, in such a terrible, tragic way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, okay, so we have this whole theory, right? And it's awesome. And I like to extrapolate a little bit on the themes that they'd be touching on through this mechanism.
Yeah, go for it.
Because, to comment on was it Z on TV, who mentioned this whole idea that the exploring terrorism right now is a little bit passé. It's not a relevant theme anymore. True. I agree with that. Honestly, I do. And I think that this season is not talking about terrorism at all. I think this season is commenting a lot on how terrorism is being used as an excuse or a diversion, and that a lot of people are cluing into or researching this idea of a secret society, of a group of higher thinkers that are messing things up, who are interfering for their own gain, who have an agenda outside and above the world, something that's meta-societal.
Yeah. In other words, a big fucking conspiracy.
Exactly.
Yes.
And conspiracy has been the major running theme of the last several years in the world.
Totally, yeah. Conspiracy theories about 9/11.
And in a bigger way, like, I mean...
Conspiracy theories about the stock market and the...
And they talked about conspiracy immediately post 9/11 when 24 began, but in smaller ways, in little personal ways, and not this overriding... and it's not even governmental, it's bigger than that. It's independent. It's manipulating governments. It's manipulating...
Like puppeteers, string pulling.
Exactly, and that's why I brought up the Illuminati thing, right? That's something that's being talked about an awful lot too. So I think this is a direct comment on that kind of stuff, because all that analysis, all that conspiracy that's been talking, the planes and the holograms and the fake this and the buildings and the wires and everything else, and how it's internal. They're really starting to evolve along the same lines as the discussion in the world, I think. 24 has always been very in tune with what's been happening in discussion and the mindset of the world, I think, that way.
It's funny, like, I think this season has been really good, but if they go where I think they're gonna go regarding all of this, like, regarding the stuff you've just been saying about, you know, commenting on that kind of perception of the world, like, you know, post 9/11, and, you know, this idea that they've orchestrated everything that's happened in this season, including the backstory that's been revealed, and things that happened, you know, before the day began and stuff like that to lead up to this, like, that these last 5 episodes could really tie the whole thing together in just, like, a way more brilliant than I really would have even imagined.
You know what? Okay, so, you know, I'm saying let's not think about the possibility that this isn't what's going to happen. But if this is not the way it plays out.
Okay.
I'm thankful that the season has brought us this far, that we're able to have this debrief tonight.
Yeah, I totally agree.
This is awesome material. I love having this kind of a conversation. I do think that these elements are present in some way, shape, or form. We may not be completely correct about all the details about exactly what's going on, but I love the fact that we can be fired up this way and see these things happening. I mean, it's not like we're pulling this stuff out of the air.
No, I mean, I definitely think that, you know, this is a credible theory.
Yeah. Well, and you look retrospectively through the season. You kind of
and you start to pick out those moments where you ask yourself, was that significant?
Yeah.
Well, if it was, why hasn't it come up? And how could it be? But
the collection of all those insignificant moments, they're all consistent. All those insignificant bits are all consistent within each other, like in relation to each other. Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree. It's
not like there's one random thing here and one random thing there, and you have to sort of work to pull them together.
Once all the ducks start lining up, then, you know, it starts to kind of make sense a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, these moments that we've picked out as just, like, extremely observant fans, like the look between Tony and Seaton, or the fact that Tony called Hodges by name even though no one had said Hodges' name in his presence, and we had no reason to believe that he had any reason to know who Hodges was at that point.
Do you know what I would love? I would love to be, like, a writer, whoever it is that's coming up with these juicy bits, sitting over a Starbucks, and you're having wine, you're in a restaurant, you're thinking about this stuff, you're getting all excited, and you're on the phone, you're like, oh my god, we should do that. You're, like, doing this board meeting with everybody that's creating 24. I would just love to be in those rooms.
Oh my god, totally.
Because these ideas are really exciting.
They are.
Like what do you do with Jack? How the hell do we make Jack human again? Oh my god, well, this is the only way it can happen, you know, of course. Brilliant move. Pat on the back. And
so, if our theory pans out, I mean, I think episode 24 is going to basically come down to this kind of, like, showdown between Jack and Tony. Jack, who's so fucked in the head by this point that he, like, there is not going to be anything that's gonna convince him that Tony is not, you know, that he doesn't want to kill Tony, right? And
well, because I don't think that we're anywhere close to Tony being able to reveal anything.
No,
it's going to be him.
It's going to be a volcano of shit flying in the last 2 episodes, basically, where all the cards are going to come out on the table, and Michelle's going to get tossed around, and Palmer's going to get tossed around, and, you know, I'm still wondering if Daniels could somehow be involved in this mysterious group of 6, 10, I don't remember how many circles were there on the screen when they were doing the vote?
Like 12 or something.
12 is a big thing with you know, evil cabals in TV shows, like the Alliance of 12 and Alias.
Oh my god, if Tony Almeida is God, he's got 12 disciples.
Oh lord.
They're like I'm sorry, but these things exist, okay? These parallels are there. I'm sorry.
This is so crazy.
Okay, yeah, I was designated the religious authority. So.
Yeah, but I just didn't think the metaphor really worked.
It does.
That's all.
It does, but there's 12 in the center. And anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, I'm on fire, and it's quite a change from last episode, because now I'm looking forward to shit going down.
I know.
I'm looking forward to everything just going kabang and, like, just being awful and difficult. But,
like, okay, if this is real, I can totally accept whatever Tony has done.
Yeah.
Like, killing Moss wasn't good, like, you know, but I forgive him.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and we were talking about ends justifying means, how perhaps he is in direct reflection to Jack, how Jack
It's so funny because it's all this time, like, Jack is the character who basically is the poster boy for ends justify the means.
Yeah.
And if this whole thing goes through and it ends up being that, like, Tony has done, like, the most heinous things out of, like, even more heinous than anything Jack's ever done, like, including sticking a plastic bag over his own brother's head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Way worse than anything Jack's done, in order to, like, break the whole fucker wide open.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Tony Almeida really would be God then. Holy crap. I demand a tour of the set.
I'm so, yeah. Do official type important people watch us? I sure hope they do. Cause
I don't know. Sometimes I like to think so. Other times I think no. They don't have time for this.
All I want to do is communicate a message to you that I'm really, really happy.
I think probably, like, at the most what they would do is, like, they get their PAs and stuff like that to comb cyberspace and let them know what the players are saying. That's probably what happens. So whether or not AIG is a player, I have no idea.
I don't know, but I sure would like to somehow earn the privilege of being somehow in contact with somebody at some point.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, we were in contact with Sean Callery. Who we still love. It was awesome, actually, like, you pointed it out, because when the CTU logo screens, like, came up on all the monitors in the FBI, and then Sean Callery's, like, triumphant, hopeful, optimistic music piped in, Kat's just like, oh, the music.
It just got me. And then there was the do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh my god, okay. Oh my god, okay, we have to come up with a name for this awesome theory. Like Tony Almeida, the ultimate mastermind.
Oh god, I'm not good at these names, man. You guys come up with it. I don't know.
Holy shit. I don't even know what to say, Kat. Like, I'm just so blown away, like, by the possibilities after tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could turn out that we're completely wrong, although I think it would be, like, ridiculous if we were.
Yeah. I think it would be exactly ridiculous if this kind of an opportunity were wasted in not only storytelling, but theme exploration and in social commentary. I think it's all there. There's so much.
Like an awesome tribute to the Tony character. Like, oh god, what if the worst happens? And, like, Tony really is righteous, but Jack doesn't believe it and fucking kills him anyway.
Well, didn't you say, though, that if this were all true and it were revealed that Tony was doing something righteous right now, that even his death couldn't take away from his awesomeness at this point?
I totally agree with that still, but that doesn't mean I want it to happen.
I know, it's so awful. Talk, guys. This
oh
is now,
my god!
I just cannot wait to
now's
read all
the
your
time. Like,
comments.
this is crazy. Like, I wonder if the site's going nuts right now. Like,
I'm sure it is.
We need to wrap this up so I can get this bad boy posted and get on there and see what other people are saying.
I'm pretty much done. I mean, I don't have too much to. I'm sure we could talk a lot.
Oh my god! I'm just reeling right now. Like, my adrenaline is pumping so high. Like, I'm gonna be up late tonight, and tomorrow is gonna be unpleasant for me. That's for sure.
I know, but we could talk about acting bits, about great scenes, about here and there, but I think really right now the juice is happening.
It's the plot. For once. I know. The plot is just, I'm hooked.
The plot, yes, but also at the same level is our character interaction.
See, I don't think that we would have got to this point. Like, if this is really where they're going, and we've, like, this is the episode that we're intended to pick up on it, right? I don't think that the audience could get there without those little subtleties that the actors have been feeding us all along, right?
You know what?
Especially Carlos Bernard, because if this theory really is true, and I know I keep saying if, because, like, I'm just reticent to flat out go for it, like, in case I'm wrong, or that we're wrong, right? But, I mean, if it is real, like, it's all Carlos, baby. All of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do you know what I loved? If we talk about moments and acting and bits and pieces, is Jon Voight's performance.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, go on, but yeah, there's something
I don't have too much to say other than, I was happy to see him on screen again, and his fragility and his strength in the same body in the same moment, his belief never wavering in his idea, in his mission. he's just as committed now as he was before.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
I just
I just was kind of a little bit surprised at how, I guess, uncomplex the Hodges character ended up being. Because I remember when he was introduced, I thought, wow, this is one of
chess player.
Like the most complex characters, at least, for a villain that the series has introduced in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, it kind of just fizzled. Like it was very cliche. Like, oh, this guy who has very misguided ideas about, what's necessary in order to protect America, and is willing to go to any length, to make his voice heard. I mean, we've already seen that, like, with Jack's family last year, and even with, sort of shades of Logan from season 5, like, doing what had to be done to get the people in line type thing, right?
Yeah. And I know that there was something else I wanted to mention, too. I can't remember what it was anymore. Oh.
Well, anyway, Kat and I are just, like, real roiled up over here.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean...
Oh, it was so funny. That's what I wanted to mention. When Galvez...
Oh, no, this is too dumb. We can't even mention it.
It was an awesome moment. We both screamed our full heads off. Okay, I won't say
I'm embarrassed.
All I'm gonna say, we'll play a little game then with you guys. Guess who we thought it was when we saw the back of Galvez's head.
When we saw the back of Galvez's head walking toward the door... we thought it was somebody else.
Yes, and we both screamed like crazy.
We jumped the gun way too soon on that one,
and then we laughed at ourselves.
Because we were big time idiots. So, if you can guess which character we thought the back of Galvez's head was,
then we'll say your name.
No, I will personally send you an AIG T-shirt.
Oh, nice. Okay, excellent. Right. That's a good one. All right,
good. But only the first person to get it right wins the T-shirt, because I can't afford to give everyone a T-shirt.
Okay. Oh my God. At some point, I would love to give everybody who's followed us faithfully through all these debriefs something, but I don't think we can.
It would be cool, but I mean, you never know what can happen. Like if we banded together with some of the other websites.
You guys should make AIG memorabilia. You guys should get creative. Like do something. They
already do.
Awesome.
They already do. Like, I get lots of people who submit wallpapers and fan art and that kind of stuff. Like, they help us build things up. So, anyway, I mean, creating like sellable merchandise is tricky because of copyright issues. Yeah. So you have to be careful about what you use. But anyway, I guess we should consider calling it a night.
Yeah, I think
we're already over 37 minutes, so dude, that's crazy.
That was awesome.
I'm so hopped up right now. Like, it's late, but like I'm just like
I know, I'm zipping too. I can't wait till next week.
I know, I'm so pumped. I can't wait to see the preview trailer online tomorrow.
Do you know what I love is how they completely destroyed us before. We were just completely turned off, disillusioned. And they're playing on our broken hearts right now.
Totally. Like, I mean, love it. And actually, Xeon TV, I think, said that too. That, 24 is manipulating its audience's emotions. And if our theory's right, maybe that's true. But I think it was necessary because if we didn't, at least for a moment, believe that Tony had really turned.
Or that the writers had fucked up again.
Yeah.
Like, I think... writers in season 1 were making the comment about the audience engaging and how that was important for the audiences to invest and connect and engage. And this season, it's like they're trying to make us disengage. They're trying to threaten us. They're trying to dare us to disengage. Like
we did after season 5, just throwing up our hands and
suck it. And then just stick it to us. No, don't suck.
We rule. So fuck you. Fuck you, fans and naysayers.
I would love it if that really came.
Oh, me too. I think if that happened, I would personally wear a T-shirt that said, the writers of 24 are my god. No.
Totally.
No, or the front could say Almeida is God, and then the back could say, and so are the 24 writers.
For sure.
Maybe they would.
I have some kind of tribute to this season because it's certainly taken me for a ride.
But yeah, I'm very, very super excited. Like, I mean, as I said to you before, like before we got on camera, that I think we're gonna still have to see Tony do some more bad things before. You know, everything unravels. But when it does, like, if our theory is right, if my theory is right, if your theory is right, if both of our theory is right,
I know.
If your desperate hunching ends up flying high,
you know what? Just before we get off,
oh my God,
I can't believe I said that. Just before we
disengage from this video recording session. Before we log off.
You know, we were talking about, log off.
Before we stop filming.
Shut up, okay. How we were talking about Tony doing some really bad things that are difficult. And then earlier we touched on him actually just having this darkness to him. Him killing Galvez, didn't it seem so weak when he was describing to what's-her-face?
Fake lawyer?
Fake lawyer. He wouldn't tell me where it was, so I had to...
Yeah, so I had to get the information out of him. But I know he was so, like, blasé about it, but the actual scene was really intense. I know. Yeah.
But I think, like, I mean, it could have been... The room is, like, this big. There's only so many places a canister can hide. And then he just opens up the thing and takes it out.
No, I don't... Like, I think Tony could have overpowered Galvez without killing him. I think he wanted to kill him.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. He enjoyed it. He did it. Mm-hmm.
I think
and it might have been to prove a point to her.
Well, possibly A, to prove a point to her, and also B, maybe sort of like projection. Like, you know, I mean, I ordered this guy to do this, and I ordered him to do something that I really didn't want to have happen because I had to, so I'm going to take great pleasure in killing him, you know, as in, like, I'm beating up on the part of myself that did it.
That deserves a poem right there. That deserves some kind of writing, because that's awesome.
Anyway, we're over 41 minutes
all
now.
right, I'm stopping now.
Okay, so good night.
Good night.
Holy crap, I'm off to the site to see if everybody else thinks the same thing.
Discussion's already been happening. I can't wait to read it.
Okay, good night, everybody, and Almeida be with you.
Almeida be with you guys.